So today I'm going to be talking about how to not get yourself burnt out, right? How to reduce stress, how to get through all that in business, because sometimes it can be a challenge. So hopefully we'll be able to get some tips and hints and ideas and see if we can help you be successful longer in business. Because you can't be successful if you're not healthy and you're not taking care of you. So the Hive Society, what we've done is, I just celebrated last night our 30-year anniversary in business. We had a huge, ribbon cutting, Chamber of Commerce mixer. We just put it all together, for celebrating 30 years as an entrepreneur, 30 years in entrepreneurial success. We have any give and take, a whole bunch of employees and some amazing staff members and some fabulous people in our community that have helped us grow for 30 years. So the reason that I created the Hive Society was because I have all this knowledge and skill set that people kept asking me how to do something in business, how to be successful, how to, get through the hard times. And I started working with consulting and coaching over 20 years ago because people kept asking me, how was I being successful in business? And like I said, we just celebrated 30 years. So I got some things going right for me, right? So we created the Hive Society to give you the opportunity to learn some of the things that I've learned, both the hard way and the supportive way in business, right? So I wanted to share that with you, but also gives you the opportunity to ask questions. What do you want to know to help you grow in business? And that's what the Hive Society really is for. So if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, if you have something that you would like to share about your business, or you'd like to get some support, you can always reach out to me. It is not hard to find me, I swear. If you just Google my name, it'll come up 100 ways to Sunday. So you can get my phone number from just about anywhere, right? If you're committed to do that. But give me a call, like put a comment down below, ask a question. I'd be more than happy to answer that. So I just wanted to share that with you in case you weren't sure and you wanted to know why am I doing this? Because it's a space to be able to give back. And if my business is called Be a Legacy, then that means that right now I live my legacy. So part of that legacy is to make sure that other women in business, especially women in male dominant industries, right, have that opportunity to be successful, and they can learn from somebody who's been there, done that, right? So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'd love to hear feedback from today, and I'd love to hear, how I can best support you. Maybe I can get the topic that you want in a future Friday broadcast. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And talking about today is, how is it that you can be in business and not get burnt out, right? Because the stressors are everywhere. Let me tell you, this past week, I have prayed, I have asked for prayers, I have had to release and surrender, so many things, because as we were preparing for our 30th anniversary, which was yesterday, and Thursday, what happened is we didn't even get flooring put in until Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So the flooring was almost complete. I don't think too many people saw what wasn't complete in there. Some baseboards were missing. But other than that, all that up until the last minute. Now that wasn't under my control, so I had to let go of control. Woo, that's one of the first tips, right? It wasn't my control when all of this was getting done. That was in the hands of somebody else, our landlord, all of that there. And I had to let go of control. I had to surrender to the fact that there were more important things to worry about than that floor being completely perfect, right? It was 90% done. Sometimes in our business, it's the same thing. We have to get going and we have to keep moving, and it's not going to be perfect. And sometimes it's going to look ugly. I had posted on my Facebook, in a moment of surrender, think about that little child, a little girl, right? She wants something and she's throwing a fit because she can't get it, right? And she's just thrown herself on the floor, just screaming and wailing her arms and crying because she's not getting her way, right? And then there comes a time when she's out of crying. She just doesn't have anything else. And she's just laying there kind of in disbelief, right? That I can't believe I didn't get my way. Right. So I even put that on my Facebook. I said, that's what it kind of felt like. I was just like, oh. And it was funny because, there's so many things in life that we, as business women, I know a lot of women, have to let control of. So sometimes I'll go to mixers and I'll go to networking events and I will talk to women and they don't know me. And I'm like, well, what do you do? And I will say something like, you know how women have a tendency of trying to do everything on their own? And they're like, yes. I help women stop doing that. Right? Because we try to do it all on our own. We try to be in control of everything. We try to make sure that it's all done accurate and it's all done to perfection. And we're the only one who knows how to do it. And we're the only one who knows the best way to do it and all of those things. And what that really does is it creates more stress for yourself. It creates unrealistic expectations. It creates uncertainty and fear because if it's not done accurately, then somebody's not going to like it. Guess what? Nobody's going to like it. Not everybody's going to like it, no matter how hard you put into it, especially not the person that you really want, because they're just not good at giving out that kind of praise and reward. So you got to let go of that big expectation. Stop trying to be the control freak. I'm kind of a recovering control freak and a recovering perfectionist, right? And you have to be in business. I have discovered in the 30 years that I have been in business as a successful business owner, right? Like, you have to learn to let go of the high expectation that you have on yourself. I asked my husband one time, I said to him, and he thought it was a trick question at first. He's like, I said, do you think that I'm high maintenance? And he just kind of looked at me. I said, it's not a trick question. I'm just serious. Like, would you consider me high maintenance? And he then asked me a question. He said, for me or for you? And I thought that was a great question. And I said, well, for you. He's like, for me, no. For yourself, absolutely. Because I had higher expectations for myself than anybody else did, right? And I still have high expectations for myself, but at the same time, I've been able to release some of that. And, it's just been a phenomenal opportunity for me to step into that, because if I don't let go of those expectations, and if you don't let go of those expectations that you have that are too high to actually meet, you're going to create burnout. You're going to create undue stress, right? And when you create undue stress, what happens is you become unhealthy. Your body can't handle stress every single day. You have to let the stress come down. And if you're constantly going up and up and up, and you're not coming down with that stress, finding ways to reduce that stress on yourself, you're always going to be at that high level, which creates strokes, which creates heart attacks, which creates what else? Who else? What else? So the thing is, you want to make sure you let that go. Now, physically in our body, I know the cortisol levels go up and those are not good for you. All this high adrenaline, all of those things. It's just amazing what happens in our body when we're not paying attention. Okay. So you have to pay attention. You have to take care of yourself in business, right? I go to my doctor and she kind of cracks me up. And, she does all the panels, the blood work, everything. She does the screening and, my cholesterol is fine. My, everything is fine. I have nothing bad about my medical issues. I'm not on any medications. And my doctor is always surprised. And she's like, the only thing I can yell at you about, Kimberly, is your weight. And I said, yep. And I know about it. And I continue to stay focused on it. Even though I eat quite healthy, I just have a tendency of skipping a lot of meals. So I know what it is, and I get better at it, then I fall off, and then I get better at it, the same as everybody else, right? So let's call it what it is, right? It's called self-care. It's taking the time out, right? So how about you? What's the thing that you're holding on to that you need to do something different about? We all have one, at least one. Right. But I wanted to say is like I said, in business, we're pulled in so many directions. We have emails coming round the clock. Somehow I get on everybody's newsletters, and I haven't even met them, and they are spamming me, right? And this, that, the next thing. And I get over 100 emails a day, right? I can't possibly manage all that and work. Right? I actually have to work, people. Stop sending me so many emails. Pick up the phone and call me, okay? Because I don't want to get lost in the email world. But we have meetings that we have to go to, right? There's so many things. Team members you got to work with, virtual team members you have to work with. And for those of you who say, I don't have anybody, that might be your issue. You have to have people to support you. We had an intern. We have an intern currently in our business, and he's been doing all kinds of amazing things. And we'll see if he's a great fit for us. He comes in, he's doing whatever we ask, right? And trust me, I don't ask him to do anything I'm not willing to do. But at the same time, like, he comes in and he's ready to work. And that's how my staff, they come in, they're excited, they're ready to work. When you show up, they say good morning, they say hello, they connect, because it's important to connect with other people. It's important to have other ideas. And our intern, he'll come up to me, he's like, Kimberly, have you thought of doing, XYZ? I'm like, that's a very interesting perspective. Why don't you go and talk to, this person about that and see if it can work in the company? Because I don't have to take on every idea. And neither do you, right? Let somebody else manage it. See if it's going to be feasible for your company or what have you, right? You've got to learn to let go of control and learn to delegate. I know I say this a lot, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't be 30 years in business doing it by myself. I would have been burnt out at 5. Okay, that's the reality of it. And if you want to be a successful 30-year business, and look, when I first started in my business, I couldn't see past 5 years. I truly couldn't. So how we got to 30, sometimes I just don't know. But it's a consistent path of continuous movement, right? So, the things that you want to do that are going to help you when chaos comes, when stress shows up, when frustration comes around you, when things aren't going well, when your client fires you. Yes, it happens, right? When you get, multiple new clients in a row because you've been putting a lot of marketing effort in, right? And you got to onboard them all at the same time. You're getting employees and they call off sick, right? Last minute. In my case, that's a 24/7 thing, right? We have people calling off almost every single day because we have so many people, but we have to make sure our clients are taken care of when that happens, right? So all these stressors come up, and how do you manage it? Well, first, you have to make sure that you're asking for help, that you delegate, right? And the hardest thing about delegating, and I've heard it said, and I've said it before, is that you delegate, you want to hire somebody, you want to bring some in as an intern, you want to bring somebody in just to help you out for a little bit, a girlfriend, whatever that is, but you haven't got the systems in place for them to just take the ball and run. What happens is they come in and you have to neglect your work because you have to teach them what it is that you need them to do, and you want them to do it your way because you don't have the system in place that already has that created. And I have talked about this, but I work with clients so many times on, okay, what is that system? Okay, what do you normally say? What are your frequently asked questions? So that they can be the gatekeeper for you, right? How would you say that, right? What are the tools that you have to use, the software? What are the passwords to get into those? And we create a whole structure just for the one system. So when you hire somebody, then they come in and they're ready to go, and you can continue working where you need help, because most people don't hire people until they absolutely need a lot of help. And then it feels overwhelming and they just can't do it. I don't want you to be like that. I want you to start thinking about hiring people now so that when you are ready and in need of true support, you are prepared for them to come in and just take the ball and run, right? So you got to ask for help. And the first part of that asking is asking yourself, what do I need help with? And what do I need to teach them in order for them to come in and take the ball and run, right? So asking for help. The other things that you need to do is, schedule time off for yourself. I know it sounds like I'm a business owner. I don't have time to schedule time off. I have to work every day to build business. Yes. Okay. I agree with you. And if you don't take time off, it'll be forced upon you because you get sick, become unhealthy, life happens, all of those things. So why not be prepared, right? Why not be prepared ahead of time, taking some time off, schedule some time off, schedule some time to go and sit and just meditate or pray, right? Schedule some time off, go have a massage, right? Get a foot massage, get a mani-pedi, and only take girlfriends with you, don't take work. I know some of y'all are sitting in the chair with your phone and you're going, because I do it myself sometimes, right? Just going and running business while you're getting a pedicure. I know it because I've done it, right? So, I mean, that was me yesterday, only I was getting my nails done right before our big event, right? And I'm sitting there going back and forth on my phone because I had to work because we're in a deadline, for our event. So, and people were like, hey, we need this and this. And I was out. So can you pick that up? And I'm like, I thought we were more prepared than this. We were, but just, those last minute, what if, but because I was out, it was easy for me to take care of, right? So with that being said, you've got to ask for help. You have to schedule time off. You have to schedule time for you to take a breath. You have to schedule time for you to read a book that's not business related, right? Listen to podcasts that are not business related, right? And at the same time, make sure you're making time for the business related ones, the business related books, the business related podcasts and master classes and learning and so on and so forth, right? You have to make sure you do that, right? Set reminders. So I said to my daughter who was down for this event and one of my staff members, I said, hey, you guys remind me when I get home, I need to grab the baskets for the gifts. I said that, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. And I said, I got to grab the basket. Everything's ready to go. I just got to put them in the basket. And so they both said, okay. And I'm like, all right, never mind. I set a reminder in my phone for the alarm to go off. And I titled the alarm baskets. And so, the day went on and I got home. Nobody said a word, right? And this timer happened to be set at 8:43 p.m. I'm just about ready to go to bed because it's been an exhausting day and everything else. My phone, the alarm goes off, right? And I look at it, it says baskets. And my daughter looked at me and goes, baskets, Mom. And I was like, thanks. I got up, I got the baskets, I put them by the door, was ready to go. I have to set reminders for myself too. So make sure you set reminders. It might be a reminder to just stop and take a deep breath, right? I have reminders on my phone at certain times a day that the reminder goes off and it says, stop and pray for somebody in need, right? Stop and take a deep breath. Get up and dance around for 5 minutes, right? Little things. But it's just ways to keep me in motion, get up out of my chair because I've been sitting a lot the last year, right? Is setting reminders to remind me that I have to break away from business and do the things that are necessary that take care of me, right? And my self-care, right? Another thing for self-care is, I'm going to say this, I've said this, I don't know how many times in different Fridays, is you have to say no. You have to say no to people. You have to say, no, I can't do that. And not because you're being mean or you don't want to go, but because it just wouldn't serve you right now in this moment. If you know that you need to take care of yourself and get some rest or whatever that is, then say no, because every time you say no to somebody else, you're saying yes to you, right? And so you want to just make sure that you look at the opportunity that's being presented and decide, is this a good opportunity for me right now? Or is something else better right now? So sometimes you just have to say no. I'm not saying say no all the time. I'm saying say no when it's important to say no, and know when that is, right? And be okay with saying no. It's not, you're not there to offend somebody. You're there to make sure that that person hears you and hears that, I'll say like, I think this is a great opportunity. And as much as I would love to support you in that, I'm going to have to decline this time, but please ask me next time, right? That opens the door. That tells them that you could be available in the future, right? And when you say no to somebody, you don't have to give them an explanation why. I didn't say why I needed to say no. I'm going to have to decline at this time, but let me know for the future, right? It's a very pleasant way to say no without them feeling offended, right? So utilize that. Learn to say no to yourself, right? And then the other thing is just, okay, I'm going to say this. I'm a big proponent of serving my brain. Okay. I love my brain. I can tell you all kinds of little neurological, all these things about your brain because I've studied it, because I think it's kind of cool. All right. Not everybody thinks it's cool like me, but I do. So I study my brain. And one of the things that I've learned throughout the years is that your brain gets dehydrated. And the more that you work and stare into a computer and you're not drinking water, okay, your brain kind of squishes up, right? It shrivels up a little bit because it manages itself based on the water content in your body. So if you're not drinking enough water, you're going to get brain fog, right? You're going to get brain fatigue, right? Your body's not going to function properly. And look, I hate drinking water. Okay, can I just say I hate drinking water? But I have these big, tall canister, thermoses and bottles. I have glass bottles because I just don't like plastic, right? And so I don't like it on my mouth. So I just have these big glass, 32 ounce cups, and I have glass straws, right? So whatever works for you that's going to get you to drink water, then make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Now, some people say, eight ounce glasses of water a day is what you need minimally. And that's not true for everybody, right? But you have to drink enough to where you don't feel thirsty ever, right? And I'm talking water. I'm not talking other beverages. I'm just talking water. But make sure you're drinking enough water for your brain to be hydrated. If you're like going, oh, it's a tough day in my head, like, oh, if that's what you're doing, then you need to be drinking some water. Okay. Drink water because that gets your brain keeping it hydrated so it can function properly so that you can make the best decisions in your business. That's another way to reduce stress, how to keep the calmness down in your body, and to make sure that you can get through the day. I know when I feel my worst, I realize I didn't drink nearly enough water. Okay. So that's just my tip for you. And like I said, I've studied the brain just because I'm like that. Right. So, the biggest thing that you have to do is manage you. You cannot be in control of everybody else and all the other situations. Chaos is going to happen in business. All right. Things are going to go bad some days. You're going to have some days when you feel like a complete failure, even though you're not, right? You just had a learning lesson that came upon you. You're going to feel that way in business. And the best thing that you can do is stop and take a deep breath, drink some water, manage the chaos, right? And then just get back into it again. That's what business is about. I didn't get to 30 years because I just plug, and was completely, a workaholic. I didn't. I got there because I've been able to manage my stress, or I would have been burned out a long time ago. Right. And so I know that you can do it too. So if you felt something that was valuable today, let me know below. I'd love to hear that. And, I look forward to supporting you again next week. See you next Friday. Have a wonderful week.